The story of the blind king and the illusion of power. In the kingdom of Rajpur, there was a powerful king named Vikram. King Vikram had everything that one could desire: wealth, land, loyal subjects, and a grand palace. But there was something about the king that made him different from others. He had been born blind. Though he could not see with his eyes, King Vikram had sharp senses and a keen intellect. He had a trusted advisor, a wise sage named Samandra, who guided him in matters of state. Despite his blindness, King Vikram had a strong sense of power and control, and he believed that his authority could overcome any obstacle. However, there was one weakness that plagued the king. He was consumed by his lust for power and wealth. Over time, King Vikram became increasingly obsessed with expanding his kingdom and acquiring more riches. He disregarded the needs and well-being of his people, focusing only on increasing his own grandeur. One day, as King Vikram sat on his throne, he called for his advisor, Samandra. "I am not content with what I have," the king said. "I want more. I want to conquer the neighboring kingdoms and claim all the wealth they possess. Nothing should stand in my way." Samandra, who had been with the king for many years, spoke carefully. "Your Majesty, you are already the ruler of a great kingdom. But I caution you, greed and lust for power can blind even the most powerful rulers. I suggest that you reflect on your actions before you act rashly." The king, however, was deaf to the sage's warnings. "What do you know of power, Samandra? You have no ambition. If I want to conquer more lands and amass more wealth, I will. I will not let anything or anyone stop me." The story of the blindness of lust. Unbeknownst to King Vikram, a great catastrophe was looming. His desire for wealth and conquest led him to make decisions that hurt the very people he ruled. He raised taxes on the poor, drained the kingdom's resources, and forced the young men of the village to march into wars of expansion, even though the kingdom was already prosperous. His obsession with acquiring riches and enlarging his empire blinded him to the suffering of his people. One day, a wise hermit from a distant land came to the kingdom. The hermit, who had heard of the king's blind ambition, sought an audience with King Vikram. The king, eager to boast of his power, welcomed the hermit into his palace. "I have heard that you are a wise man," the king said. "Tell me, what is your opinion of my reign? I have conquered many lands and acquired much wealth. Surely, I am the greatest of kings." The hermit, looking calmly at the king, replied, "Your Majesty, I have heard of your power and your conquests, but I see something that many do not. You are like a man born blind who cannot see the dangers of his actions. You have gained much, but you have lost sight of what truly matters." King Vikram, proud and filled with his sense of superiority, scoffed. "I am not blind, wise man. I see everything clearly. I rule the land with strength, and nothing escapes my control." The hermit replied, "You may think you see, but you are blind to the truth. You are like one consumed by lust, a lust for power and riches, that blinds the mind. You have no perception of the harm you are causing, for you are blinded by your desires. The pride you have in your conquests makes you blind to the suffering of your people. And just as a man born blind cannot see, those who are in the grip of lust cannot perceive the consequences of their actions." The king was silent, but his pride made him reluctant to accept the hermit's words. The hermit continued, "Those who are proud and consumed by greed and lust cannot perceive the evil in their actions. You see only what benefits you, and you fail to see the sin in exploiting others for your gain." The king's realization. Over the next few weeks, King Vikram began to notice the growing discontent among his people. Farmers were starving due to high taxes, soldiers returned from wars with nothing to show for their sacrifices, and many of his subjects were living in poverty. His once thriving kingdom was crumbling under the weight of his selfish desires. Despite his outward power, the king felt a deep sense of emptiness. One night, as the king sat alone in his palace, contemplating his kingdom's state, he remembered the words of the hermit. "I am like a man born blind, unable to see the truth," he thought to himself. "I have been so consumed by my desire for wealth and power that I have blinded myself to the harm I have caused." King Vikram realized the truth. He had been so focused on his own desires that he had failed to see the suffering around him. The very pride he had in his strength and wealth had blinded him to the evil in his actions. With a heavy heart, the king called for Samandra, his trusted advisor. "I have been foolish, Samandra," King Vikram confessed. "I have allowed my lust for power and wealth to blind me to the needs of my people. I have hurt them, and I see now that my pride has caused great suffering. What should I do?" Samandra, with a compassionate smile, replied, "Your Majesty, the first step toward redemption is recognizing the truth. Now that you see the error of your ways, you can change. Let go of your pride and your greed, and govern with wisdom, compassion, and fairness. It is never too late to correct one's path." Moral of the story: those born blind cannot see. Similarly, those in the grip of lust are blind to the consequences of their actions. Pride and greed blind one to the evil and sin in their deeds, and they distort one's perception of the world. Only by letting go of selfish desires and seeking wisdom can one truly see the truth and make amends for past wrongs. It is the humble and the wise who perceive the world as it is, free from the blindness of lust and pride. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.